keep asking me what I'm taking on my off season or what supplements I'm using on my rehab. So I'm going to quickly show you. So I've just got my delivery from USM. As you can see, I've got the Blue Lab Whey, which I've talked about in previous vlogs, but this is just a blend of whey protein, so isolate, hydrolysate, concentrate, very low in sugar. For me, because I'm not training and expending calories and utilising carbs, I'm reducing the carbs slightly and just trying to keep everything clean and reducing the calories, so I'm not obviously just putting on body fat. So that's great for that. Male and female can take that, so that's not just male orientated, it's across the board. 26 grams of protein per serving, so it's quite a lot. I double up on the serving, so around 50 grams. We've got the BCA Amino Grow, again, which I've talked about before, pre and intra. Rocky likes this, look. Are you interested, mate? That one? Yep, he loves that one. So that's just to protect the muscle and to prevent breakdown whilst I'm training. You are always going to break down muscle fibers when you're training, but that's just to try and help reduce as much as possible. We've got the green tea CLA. That's something myself and Amy is taking. Amy's taking this because we're shredding for the wedding, and it's great for when you're dieting. I take it normally on prep. Obviously the green tea extracts is awesome for antioxidants, and the CLA is a great way of helping you burn stored fats. So a bit like L-carnitine, but you don't get the energy surge like you do from L-carnitine. So around 6 tablets a day with meals twice. Good boy. Good boy. And then we've got the Cut Lipo XT. This is something I'm a huge promoter of, because I believe you can get your metabolism fired up through natural foods by consistently eating clean food. But I do think there is a place from when you're at the latter part of a prep or you're really struggling for energy and you can't turn to food for energy. This is a great way of just basically pushing through those plateaus. So I wouldn't advise living on them and taking them for too long, but they are good for again, like just boosting the metabolism or just speeding up that fat loss. Oh, phone's ringing, 2 seconds. And then these are just a bit of a treat. These are the new RTDs, Trust 50s. So they're very low in sugar, but they are made through milk extract, so protein source. But they just taste awesome. So powder form, I live on basically, especially when I'm dieting or prepping or anything like that. But when I'm off season, I just like to treat myself. So Protein 50 is easy when I'm traveling. I'm working a lot now, doing promotions. Got Swansea this weekend coming up, so it's a bit of a trek. So instead of taking big tubs of protein powder form, I just take the RTDs. And yeah, it's a bit of an excuse to try these because they're a lot nicer tasting. A bit more sugar in them, but not enough to be too detrimental. Right, that's it, guys. Oh, rockstar, you're a good boy. Yes, you are. So these are my front covers. Actually, just laying them out like this brings back a lot of memories. So this was my first front cover back in 2010 when I won Mr. Great Britain and Mr. International. There's a hell of a lot of makeup on there. This was in Indonesia. But yeah, no, it brings back some awesome memories. Got some good ones with Perbinelli in America. Muscle and Fitness. This was my first ever cover for Muscle and Fitness, and that to me was a dream come true for any athlete. To be on the front cover of Muscle and Fitness was amazing. It took me about 3 years to get that. I had to do a lot of free photo shoots, a lot of travelling up and down the country, using my own petrol at the time when I was a plumber apprentice, not on a lot of money. But for me, just having that front cover was the ultimate goal at the time. There was no men's physique or winning shows at that time. It was just about trying to achieve something what I've always wanted to do. I've read these magazines for years growing up, so it was nice to be on the cover. But yeah, it's a bit surreal really. All these are from all over the world. We've got Korea, we've got America, Australia down here, South Africa. So yeah, it's nice to see, and it makes you realise how far you have come. You can take it for granted sometimes when you're in the moment, but over 7 years, that's all my covers so far. Right guys, so we're down here at Good Body's gym, my local gym, and today we're going to try and attempt a shoulder workout. Obviously this is my 3rd session back, so again we're not going to do anything major. It's going to be a lot of repetition, no mass weight. We might actually do a lot of supersetting just because keep the volume there, keep the intensity there, but not obviously overload the muscle like too heavy. So to start we're going to warm up. It's a great exercise for either warming up or finishing on. It's not about mass weight, this is about keeping your core tight, and we're going to hit all three parts of the head which make up the shoulder: anterior, posterior and medial head. You go up. So it's quite important to not go too heavy with this. The reason for that is it takes a lot of stabilising core work in order to prevent swinging and stuff. So if you go too heavy, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to start throwing it up and it's going to become momentum rather than controlled, isolated work on your shoulders. So just don't think you've got to do 8 reps as heavy as you can. Go for the 12 to 15 with lesser weight, more controlled. We can start doing heavier compound lifts later on in the session. This is about getting blood into that, all 3 heads of the shoulders, but also fatiguing it. So you can class this as a pre-exhaustion exercise at the start of a workout, or to failure at the end of a workout. So I typically aim for around 4 working sets, 2 warm-up sets. So yeah, that's what I normally do anyway. So that's crap. We'll say that again, but normally I do around 4 working sets and a few warm-up sets if it's at the start of the workout. I've always been quite a big advocate of more volume, more intensity rather than mass weight. I did that when I was younger, and hence why I've got injuries now. I did my shoulder, I've done my lower back, my hip now. So it's all about training smart, focus on mind to muscle connection rather than just mass weight. The only way you're going to grow is through eating anyway. The only way you're going to shred up and diet is through eating. So in here is just a formality where you have to go through to sculpt your physique, but everything, including abs, which are made in the kitchen. Another thing, what people always ask, what's in my drinks? So it all depends where I'm at in prep, if I'm off season or whatnot. But I do think it's very important to consume carbs, a good amount of carbs around training. So typically, I've got the BCA Amino Grow in here, but I'd add 50 grams of, can be tri-carbs, it can be multidextrin, Vitago, waxy maize starch, anything like that. 50 grams before, 50 grams during, and normally around 100 grams post-workout. So if you're struggling to get calories in, there's 200 grams of carbs within your workout already. So that's a great way of trying to put clean calories in if you're struggling to get it in the day. And it'll help with pump, fullness, energy, everything while you're training. I tend to try and stay away from pre-workouts, things like that, stimulants. So I'll add it through carbs. That's where I get my energy from when I'm training. So I'm being very particular with the exercise I'm choosing, because obviously it's my first session back on shoulders. My hip still isn't great and it's still in the early stages of rehab, so I don't want to do anything like compound lifts or core work. So I want to try and keep away from my hip and trying to stabilise my body through my hips. So I'm trying to keep it all in my shoulders, hence why I'm doing a shoulder press on a Smith machine, because it's a lot more supported than doing free weight dumbbells or free weight barbells. We're going to do supersets. So we're going to carry on with hitting all 3 heads at the same time by doing a press, and then we're going to go into an isolation, so maybe dumbbell lateral raises. There, I did something what we call time under tension. So 4 seconds on the eccentric part of the movement, which is the negative part, nice and controlled, nice and slow. We have a 1 second pause at the bottom and a 2 second explosion from the bottom on the positive, the concentric part. The reason for that is if you're training on your own, you are going to struggle to hit big weights without a spotter, or to feel confident hitting big weights. So this form of technique or exercise is great for pushing through plateaus, making your eccentric part stronger, which then in turn makes you stronger, or in theory as a whole. I love this type of workout because I travel so much, different parts of the world, you haven't got your training partner. If people jump in on you, you still don't know if they've got your back. My training partner, I've been training with him for over 10 years now, so we know how we work. I trust him. Whereas if not, when I'm traveling, it's a great way of either training on my own or with someone who jumps in with me. It's not about mass weight. You can get the biggest of bodybuilders come in and fail on a plate, because again, it's all about mind to muscle connection, slow and controlled rather than mass weight. And we're going to go straight into side lateral raises. So with this, what I try and tell people is try and put the dumbbells through the wall. So out and around, and it's like tipping 2 jugs of water. So out and around and then up. So little twist at the top. None of this, bringing your traps in play, bending your elbows, none of that. We're going straight out, making the weight heavier. The further away from the center of your body, the heavier the weight is. One little tip as well, when you're inside lateral raises, always try and start with the dumbbells side of your hips, not at the front. Reason for that, if you go to the front, you're always going to create momentum. You're going to be throwing it up, you're going to be going forward, swinging it up. If you start from the side and you get back to the start position, you stop all swinging, all rotation. Can't get my words out. But yeah, you pause at the bottom, hips straight out like that. You can't bend your back, you're not swinging, you're not creating momentum. And if you pause at the bottom, it's as if you're doing the first rep all over again. So you're not just creating momentum, nice and controlled.
Oh. How's your workout going?
Alright, I'm just in the process of trying to rub some protein off my leggings. It wasn't even 9 o'clock and I left the house with protein all down there.
He's chatting.
I know, look, calls himself an athlete.
Right, so like I said, every exercise we're doing today is around 4 working sets. Each exercise we're going to pair up as a superset. Now we're going to go from reverse shrugs, pulling the shoulders back, the traps back, and engaging. And then we're going to superset with a rope face pull, just for the rear delts as well.
Heavy?
Felt really heavy, it's crazy. You know, obviously I've had just over 2 months away from the gym. And although I've still been eating right, amazing how much strength you can lose overnight. But that being said, you can easily bring it back. I've been training 16 years, so I'm hoping I've got enough muscle memory to come back stronger and to fight this bloody injury, which is doing my head in. So this gym, I was here because me and Dan used to train at another gym in another town just down the road. I started there when I was 14, trained there till I was about 19. We knew of each other. He was the big guy, I was the small little shit in the background. But when Dan opened this place, this was close to where I lived. And yeah, I came down on the opening of the day. Very different to what it is now, a lot smaller. But the past 10 years, got to know Dan, who hopefully is one of my ushers. in a few weeks' time. But also we've grown together. Like, this gym has got bigger and bigger over the years. The members have increased. It's about 10 years now. Oh yeah, we had the 10th year anniversary this year, and we've trained. He's been through every prep with me. So yeah, it's pretty special. At the minute we're not training together, and we're both a bit gutted about that because we don't half push each other. I've always trained with people a lot bigger than me because that competitive male ego of mine makes me want to try and lift what they lift, or try and keep up with them. Although it's impossible because he's 3 times the weight I am, it still pushes me, that competitive edge still pushes me towards trying to compete against him. So he's a great, morning, he's a great great gym partner in that respect. Over there, look, give him a wave. So he's been to all the Olympics with me since 2015, so for the last 4 years he's been with me each time. So the support here is phenomenal. And when we moved to America last year, me and Amy, that's one thing I massively missed, was my home gym, my home comforts, the kitchen I always prepped out of, my training partner, my physio who you met the other day with Johnny Hands, all of that. It's my winning formula, it's what I've won all my shows on. So that's what I knew I had to do last year to come back and get back in the top 3 in the world. So that 6th to 3rd was all thanks to me coming back here and being back in my comfort zone.
Every time.
I know, I need to stop doing that.
That's going to be your thing from now on. Can you get off your phone while gymming, please?
It's my mum. She phoned me by accident, she always does.
Calls herself an athlete.
I'm not an athlete, by any means.
Still on the phone. Yes. So we're nearly husband and wife, aren't you? Getting the middle finger. Right, so we've done 5 exercises, and then this one is going to be a finisher, which we're going to do a front raise. So each exercise we've done, we did it all together, the first exercise, all 3 heads. Then we segregated them, so we did side laterals, then we did face pulls for rears, did shrugs, did your traps, we did a press for all 3 again, and then we're going to finish front raises just to really target the front delt. Again, it's not about mass weight, because you don't want to start swinging these, especially with my hip. I sound like a 90-year-old, don't I? Especially with my hip. But yeah, nice and steady. Up just above eye level. Try and control it on the way down as well. It's the builder. It's the builder. Three different ways of doing this. So if you wanted to vary that exercise up, you've got neutral grip, overhand grip and underhand grip. So try them, see which one you feel burns the most and focus on that. I tend to sometimes like 6 sets, 2 sets neutral or hammer grip, 2 sets overhand, 2 sets underhand, just to hit different parts. And there's always going to be a personal preference from what hits better. For me, neutral helps me a lot better, and it's not as harmful on my joint as well. One other tip I'd suggest as well, when you're starting these out, try to lean forward slightly. Not enough to put pressure on your lower back, arch your lower back, so stick your arse out like a gorilla, slightly leaning forward, so that makes sure, so it takes away the swinging motion. So if you're like that, it's very hard for you to then start swinging back. If you're here, go slightly up, it's more isolated and more controlled. If you struggle to do that, go against the post or a pillar or lean into it, so you're completely back straight. If you start leaning forward, if you start trying to swing, you're not going to go anywhere. So that is my workout done. Nothing major, nothing too heavy or intense, but it's great for my first session back. I enjoyed that. Nice to just get a bit of blood flow, and mentally, for me, it's the mental side of it which I'm struggling with, is not being in the gym, not getting blood around the body, which I'm used to. I love, it's not only my job, it's my hobby for the last 16 years, so I don't half miss it, and this is the longest time I've had away from the gym in 16 years training. So I am coming back slowly, not rushing it. Obviously I can't afford to come back anymore and injure myself anymore. So as you could see, a lot of supersets. Every machine I did, or every exercise I did, was all under control, and I was very mindful of my hip. So for anyone who's got injuries, it's not preventing you from training. You don't have to stop training. It's just trying to train smart, think about the longevity, and if you are risking further injury, then don't do it. I've got to go back and see a hip specialist again. Just had an update basically that something's still not right in my hip. I know that. I'm in a lot of pain every day. I'm off my crutches now, which is a good sign, but at the same time these pains are uncontrollable, and they're really, really painful in my hip. So we just need to address it and get that sorted. So I'll let you know in the next vlog where we are with that and my future plans for the year. Obviously I spoke in my previous vlog about what I'd like from this year, but we've just got to be realistic, haven't we, and time will tell. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this workout. Give it a try. I'm going to write sets and reps in the description below, and if you like it, please comment, let me know if you do. If you want to see anything else, just let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to film it. So thanks again guys, appreciate all the support. Don't forget to subscribe either. Take care, bye bye.